Greetings, all of our wonderful people in Facebook land and around the world in the multiverse of wherever the freak we are. I'm D to the J to the roll away with Christina and Kyle. Kyle and Christina, KKD, DKK, Donkey Kong Ultimate. We are the Three Amigos. It is Monday, and it is time for another exciting episode on the Talking Topics with the Three Amigos like page. Ladies and gentlemen, if you have not been to our page yet, please do so by going to my Facebook page and clicking the link that I have so effortlessly, good God almighty, C freaking P, effortlessly posted, there it is, on my Facebook page by clicking that link. There is a bell on the right-hand side or three dots. If you click those three dots, it will give you the option to get notifications when we go live. Therefore, everyone who likes to see our show can come to us and join in the wonderful fun and sometimes the spitfire anger that we talk about on Talking Topics with the Three Amigos. Our topic today, as you can see, scrolling across the bottom of the screen, is Treat Us As We Are. Now, the most wonderful thing about this show is there is no filter, okay? So, again, we're going to have this show, and it's going to go a lot of places. I'd like to welcome everybody to the show. Hi, Cindy. Hi, Kim.
Hi, Cindy. Hi, Kim.
Hi, Noah. That's my adopted son. He is cute and cute, so he says dad-ass, so I'm happy. But I have to be honest. This goes back. I want to start with being disabled. Okay, it happens. It's everywhere. It's on every continent. It's on every, planet that we haven't discovered yet. There are disabilities everywhere. Okay,
the largest minority group that you can join in at any time. So we're always welcoming new members.
And the thing about it is, there are so many labels already, and this is what bothers me, and this is why I wanted to broach this topic, if I said it right. We already have enough labels on us with what we've already got, whether it's CP, whether it's MS, whether it's spina bifida, whether it's no legs, whether it's one arm, whether it's six arms. I met that guy, by the way. He shook my hand for an hour. But see what I did there? Okay, so we, as people with a disability, have to go through life with and as that disability allows us to do so. And the reason I say with and as that the disability allows us to do so is because some days nothing is going to work. Some days we're going to wake up, our toes are going to curl, our fingers are going to curl, our hair is going to go in 6 different directions. We're going to bruise ourselves by sneezing and bumping into the washing machine. It's going to happen. Okay.
Those are the worst days.
Thinking about that.
I just my first question to my two amigos, whom I love dearly, is this: why is it so complicated, or why do you think it's so complicated for people to broach a conversation with us? Number one, about our disability. Let's go there first.
Christina, would you like to go first?
Honestly, I just think it's taboo still, even after all this time. Disability is taboo, and people don't want to talk about it because they don't want to offend you. But the thing is, if we don't talk about these things, we don't ever come to an understanding about these things either. That's why I tell my students, I'm an open book. Like, if you have a question for me, I am not going to get offended if you ask it. Like, I would rather you have that knowledge and just know, what that is personally like for me than for you to assume things about me. Mm-hmm. The assumptions, that's another topic that I want to talk about today, too, is the assumptions are very dangerous. And the more that we educate people about disability and the more that we try to make it less taboo, I think the less assumptions people are going to have about us.
Mm-hmm. And I think society kind of paints disability as a bad thing. It's like, oh, they have a sad life because they're disabled.
Right.
And they don't see us as productive members of society who are out there working our asses off to, you know, achieve our goals and what we want, whether that be having a family, our own home, a karate champion, a Spanish teacher, a disability advocate. Like they don't see us as those things because in a lot of people's minds, they don't see that, like, that's not the life we're allowed to live because we have the label of disability. And to a lot of people, disability means that you sit at home, you're a recluse who has people do everything for you, and you're sad.
We as people are not Gollum from Lord of the Rings sitting in the cave going, me one thing, my precious, I can't move around, I can't do anything at all. Don't confuse disadvantage with disability. Don't confuse those two words. Just because we have a disability does not mean we cannot accomplish our dreams of being.
We have plenty of ability.
But see, if you look at it and you break it down, the word disability means not able. It means not able. So that's kind of where you're going. And the whole society thing, and see, this is what pisses me off. This started way back in the day where people that were different or had disabilities and did things differently were put in camps and killed, shut in back rooms. They were isolated from main society. They were the freak show of the known world. Look, I'm a freak. I'll go ahead and tell you right now, the biggest motherfucking freak you gonna find. So you better know when I say I'm a freak, I'm gonna let it loose. But to be honest, there's a difference in that side of the freak than the, six-eyed cyclops with 12 arms that has, all the scars and the visual effects that's going to make you go, oh, I can't look at it. It's disgusting. Why do you do that? Why? People want to come up and go, the fuck is that? I'm a person, asshole.
Yeah. I think people tend to forget that we are people because yes.
Sorry, Kyle.
Go ahead.
Yeah, on the whole us not being people thing, I think the number one problem, at least in my experience, is that people think that we cannot express ourselves. So therefore, they're going to treat us as if we're not a real person. Like, they'll talk to you like you're a lot younger, or they'll talk to someone that's with you instead of talking to you, because they automatically assume that you cannot communicate. Therefore, that's one of the main ways I think people forget to treat us like people. It's just with the communication that they use in general.
And that's the problem. If they're not willing to communicate in the way that person needs them to communicate. Because sometimes I think people just have this assumption that, oh, you're not able to verbalize what you want to say just by speaking like we are right now. They don't want to take the time to, like, how can I communicate? It's not that someone can't. They just communicate differently.
Mm-hmm. The problem, and like Cindy said here, someone just told me that I have a hardship. When I told her I was disabled, so I told her it's not a hardship, it's just my life. Understand, okay, part of disability to us, okay, and I can't speak for the disabled community. I can speak as part of it, but I can't speak for everybody because some people will knock you out. You look at them wrong. I know some disabled people that will run your ass over first and then ask questions later. Whether is this your leg or my leg? I need to figure out which one's which. The word to me, disability means adaptation. Okay, you have to be able to adapt to succeed. and I'm going to say this again, I'm going to say this multiple times throughout the show. If you're just tuning in and you want to watch this show, go to my Facebook page, click on the link, and watch this show from right here. Don't tell me I couldn't find the show because the link weren't up there. The link is up there. Go watch it. All right? I'm letting y'all know. Support us because we're getting this stuff out here, and this ain't got no filter. So just deal with it. We're going to go. I think the fear comes from what people don't understand. And you don't understand because you don't ask the question. And you don't ask the question because you automatically assume, as the wonderful Christina said earlier, that we can't verbalize, conceptualize, visualize, and all the other lies that are out there to get what we need to get done. I know a nonverbal communicator that is one of the most amazing people in the world. I want to make sure to say her name. I think it's Caitlin. Caitlin is her name. She is a member of Cerebral Palsy Sunrise, and she types faster than anybody I've ever Yeah, there we go. Met in my entire life. But she communicates in a way that is so elegant. And you hear somebody like Bibiana speak, and you go, wait a minute, I got to shut up and just listen. See, there are different ways of communication. There are boards, there are sticks, there are voice modulators, there's sign language, there's, sometimes.
You can a lot with your facial expressions, too.
Yes. Yeah, Kim knows all about that. That facial expression will kill. Trust me. Women especially, they will say stuff with their faces, and the man's like, I'm just going to sit over here, and I'm just going to shut up. That's what I'm going to do.
Bury your head in the sand sometimes.
That's right. Now, here's the thing. The mouth is a muscle. The tongue is a muscle. Trust me, I use my mouth very well. That's about the only thing on me that is constantly going all the time. I talk in my damn sleep. I ain't even gonna lie. Shoot. But the thing about it is, for some people where CP is affected verbally, it's a slower mechanism. It doesn't come out as fast as they'd like it to. So you got to sit down, shut up, be patient, and wait a minute for the words to come out. But you so damn quick that you want to jump and go to the next level and try to say it for them.
That speaks to just our society as a whole, and like we're very much go, instant gratification. Like just our society in general has sped up over time. Yes. We need to get it done now. We don't have time to wait because we're just in a society that like we have to get so much done during a day, and if you don't get that done, then you're a failure, which is wrong on so many levels.
To go on top of what Kyle just said, I want you to think about something. If a person is struggling to talk to you and you see it as a struggle, do you think they see it as a struggle, or is that just the way they're used to talking? Let their speed, let their pace, let their words come out on their own. And don't finish it for them because that pisses them off. And if you get punched in the face, it's your own damn fault. I'm sorry. Good morning, Joffrey. Let me just say that from Australia. Thank you for tuning in. He clicked on the link. He watching the show. We got people.
Thank you for watching, Jeff.
So let's move forward about talking. All right. I've known these two guys for a while. Okay. We don't have a problem communicating with each other. Okay. Let me just say this. You got to understand that we're not going to talk to each other like, hi, Christina, how are you? You're so cute. I love it. Will you stop that shit?
She probably snack you.
I smack myself sounding like that. Chipmunk up your butt trying to talk. What in the world is my father? I love my father. I do. It took me a long time to realize how much I love my dad. But my father
coming here, isn't there?
Do what?
There's a butt coming here. You said I love my dad.
Oh yeah, there's a big old butt. But the problem with my father is we have a conversation and he gets all up. Look, let me tell you what's going on. It's going to be okay. I just want to let you. I'm like, mother, if you don't stop talking to me like I'm 6 years old, I'm going to grab you by your balls and rotate you around and throw you out the door. Talk to me like a man, motherfucker. Let me know what you want. You ain't got to.
Ooh, see, you bring up a good point. Talk to me like a man. I feel like sometimes parents with children with disabilities will all like still see their children like, even though I'm 27, I just turned 27.
Look at you, birthday boy. Go ahead on with your pants on.
I feel like sometimes parents still, and this was a struggle. It's better now with my dad, especially, but he would act like I was still 16. It's like, no, that's not me anymore. But I think sometimes parents have a hard time because they're invested in helping us grow, that they don't always see that we do grow into adults who are able to think for ourselves and have our own opinions and can hold adult conversations.
Part of the problem is, and Christina, I want to get this too, because being a female, you're already at a disadvantage. But I tell you, I don't say that because she ain't capable. Trust me, Christina capable of knocking you straight on your ass. You got to understand. Parents want to protect their children. I understand that. I love that. I value that. The baby bird will not fly from the nest because my baby bird is a special baby bird. It has a disability, and I'm going to wrap it in bubble wrap so it doesn't die. Okay, here's the thing. Sooner or later, the child is going to grow up to a preteen. The preteen is going to grow up to a teenager. The teenager is going to grow up to an adult. So I want to mention two things. Right here, right now. One, don't stunt your child's growth by talking to them at the age they're not. Use words they can understand. We were potty trained at 1 or 2. We can go past the Big Clifford, the Big Red Dog book, See Jane Run. Let's get some intelligent conversation here. I don't need you to tell me how great I am because I made it to the bathroom on my own. I know how to poop and I know how to pee. Thank you very much. Next conversation moving forward. Now, the reason I mention that is because I believe you should celebrate your milestones. But when you are 27 years old and you are at a restaurant and you're sitting with someone who you don't think has a disability and you turn and you go, what'll he have?
Okay. Like, that's where I would say, well, I will have, I'm not afraid to butt in anymore.
And see that right there, that's proof of your growth. Because you just was, when I first met you, you was shy as hell. Just a little caterpillar on your leaf. Kyle had his face, Kyle had his thoughts, and Kyle was in his little box. When Kyle busted out that shit, the world said, damn, this boy got a lot to say. We better shut up and listen.
Thank you for that.
I think people are it's not only the parents, but the parents, because they have to do so much for the child, they forget that the child is growing. The brain is a muscle and it sucks everything in like a sponge. But because they may not be able to verbalize it or say it the way you say it, you go and you assume they don't get it. Wait a minute. No, don't do that. Give them time.
Well, along with giving them time, I think you also have to remember that ability changes as we get older. And we can either gain or lose ability, but I think sometimes parents do forget that like what I wasn't able to do 10 years ago, I can now do. And I can do it better, like I've surpassed that. So you just have to be like conscious of ability level.
That's it, right there. The last 4 words that you said. Be conscious of ability level. And
I want to hear what Christina's got to say.
No, go ahead. Go ahead, sister down there. I'm sorry.
I know.
He's been waiting patiently.
Like, y'all, it's good. Like, this is all good stuff. And the siblings are the same way when the parents are gone. Yeah.
Oh, you get to speak to that.
My sister does her fair amount of mothering as well, or did. I went to high school and I thought I was home free doing my own thing, and then my sister stepped in helping me out. And there were days where I appreciated her help, but there were days where I was like, Crystal, chill out. Like, I got it. Leave me be. You know, like, I'm a young adult too, and I think every parent has a protectiveness to them, but I feel like those of us with disabilities get it even more so. I mean, and sometimes there's nothing I can say to that because I feel like my parents are going to, they're going to always be protective about certain things, but that doesn't rub me the wrong way either. Like, with the whole driving thing, like, I remember my dad, you know, anytime I go anywhere on a certain thing, my dad gets, like, super nervous and like, oh, is she going to be okay? And then, like, I'll go out to my parents for dinner and he'll be like, oh, do you want, oh, well, you know, maybe your mom can send you some leftovers or da 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 da. And he's always asking me if I need him to drop off in dinner or anything. And as kind as it is, like, I see it more as a, like, well, you don't think that I'm adult enough, you know, like, you want to help so much, but, like, I don't need help with those things. I understand why you might think that it's helpful, but in reality, it rubs me the wrong way because it makes it look like you think that I can't. That I can't do it good enough. But yet my sister, who's not disabled, doesn't get those questions. You know? She doesn't get my dad getting worried when she drives somewhere for vacation. She doesn't get the, oh, do you want me to send some dinner over? You know? And I think part of that, too, is also just being female. I mean, I feel like DJ said I'm at a disadvantage. I have definitely seen that in different aspects, not just from my family, but from other people. Like, I'm not trying to put this the wrong way, but people don't look at Kyle and go, oh, how cute. Like,
I do, Kyle. It's okay.
Because, like, okay, but you gotta understand, like, I'm 5'2" good day. You know, like, I feel like people don't assume you to be at a younger age than you are, at least. Like, I feel like it looks 26, you know? That's what I'm saying by that. And, like, me, I could look like a 14-year-old if I wanted to. Heck, most people think I am in high school. I had a new neighbor moved in around the corner, and when I said I was going back to school, she said, oh, sweetie, what grade are you in?
Wow. Now, as far as the age thing,
no, I teach.
Like, and I said, no, I teach. This is not going to be my 5th year as a teacher. And she's like, oh, well, don't take this the wrong way, but you look really young. And I was like, oh, no, I'll take it as a compliment.
Thank you.
I feel like being female and petite and disabled just is like the trifecta of, like, we're not going to treat you like an adult because not only are you disabled, but you literally look like a 12-year-old if you're dressed a certain way and you don't wear makeup. Like,
I mean,
just remember, Christina, bilingual badass.
Yeah.
Woo! Bilingual BB. All right, bilingual badass. Okay.
Yeah, Kyle coined that term. That was his text message to me on the first day of school. Just remember, you're a bilingual badass. And I was like, that's
talking about the age thing, and I'm 39, and people look at me and go, what are you, 25, 26? I'm like, okay, thanks a lot. No, I'm 39. Really? You've lived that long? But I want to go back to something that Christina did, and I like the way she did it. When you have a problem or something bothers you, don't wait to address it. Because when once you, I mean, you can address it the right way. There's a right and a wrong way to say things and do things. But I like how Christina wasn't, she didn't talk down to her mom or her dad or her sister. She talked about how she felt and why. And we need to also listen to our parents, because the problem is, if you don't communicate with your parents and say, look, this makes me feel this way because this happened because, and the parents can go, wait a minute, okay, she's not 12, she's not 17, she's, they've got to see, and the parents have to learn to let go. Learning to let go of a child is a process. That is something that is hard, because when they raised you, and they have raised you from the bottom all the way to the top, and you off the tip, you off the bottle, you got to learn what to do. Okay, and that is a devastating process. One of the things I will say is my mom, she let me pick out my clothes at a very early age. Now, I didn't always match, and she helped me out with that a little bit. But you got to understand, there has to be an independence and a freedom to growth. Okay, but it's a process. Moms like doing their children's hair. Moms like picking out the clothes. Moms don't always want to let that go. My mom cooked for me until and she still does it. What you want? You want mama to make you egg sandwich? Mama, I can make me egg. I know you can, but I want to do it. Sometimes the mama wants to retake that role, okay, because that's what they're used to doing. And when they're gone, or the parent moves to Tennessee, hi mom, it's one of those things that they come back in the picture, and it's like, and it's all over again. But you got to step back and go, wait a minute, this is not my life. This is his life. I got to let him.
Right. And I think there's sometimes when we can let our parents do that stuff. Like, I'm not saying I don't go to my parents for the weekend and my mom doesn't cook for me, because she does. Like, there are times where we can kind of let the parents do those things for us because we know they enjoy doing them, but they also have to understand that we're our own unique adults with our own opinions. And
this is a great comment right here. I think initially parents don't want us to get hurt, and she put hurt in quotations. The greatest freedom anyone can give us is the freedom to mature. Well said. That is
it up right there.
That's so well. And I have to be honest. You said it, letting go is a process. I'm still in that process, and that's kind of my fault, because my parents would be like, "You want me to do this for you?" And I leaned into it. I'll be honest. I was like, "Sure, you want to do that? That's great." Like, but now I'm like, "Oh, there's so many things I have yet to do at 27." So it's like, ooh, that's not a good thing. I mean, it is good to have the freedom to mature, like Kim said. Like, you don't always want to lean into the parents as, giving their help, because it does kind of mess with you a little bit now. And it's like, oh, there are things I still have yet to do that, like, I should, as a
sorry, Kyle, go ahead.
Oh, go ahead.
No, I was going to say, it's okay to have things done for you to a point, but if you're not sure how to do it, at least watch and learn that way, because I want you, don't be afraid to have help, because sometimes you need it, bro. And that's my biggest issue. I have trouble accepting help because I want to do everything on my own. It's like I'm 39 and I don't need help. I don't need nobody. To where you and Christina will go, wait a minute, BJ, take a step back. You do need somebody sometime. Sometimes we don't see, because we're so structured on doing things ourselves. We forget that we need help sometimes, and that's okay.
Yeah, you're right about that. And I misspoke. It's Jeff that said that. Freedom to mature.
Perfect point right here. Someone asked me once, do you choose your own clothes? We just talked about that. That is, some parents don't they and I hate to say this, they smother because they're afraid to let that little child out of that bubble, even if that child is not a child anymore. Because they have their way of protecting that child. But I tell you what, you cannot prevent your child from getting hurt. Because eventually that child is going to become a man or woman, and they're not going to have the life skills and necessities to do what they need to do if you haven't taught them.
Yeah, that immediately brings someone to mind that both Christina and I know, who I won't name names, but it definitely, I see that. And like my parents, they, we're learning together to let go and all that stuff. But I do know someone who's still very much is very much controlled by the parent. And
yeah, it's tough, but it's like, oh my gosh, you've got to let the person be an individual, and you've got to let them make their own choices and be.
Well, I think so. Go ahead.
You've just got to let them be a little bit more independent. Like, they might be living under your roof or they might not, but either way, once they get past a certain age, I think parents need to start letting go just a little bit more so that we're not smothered. Because what that I think creates is like a resentment and a frustration, like that the parents aren't letting this person who is a fully grown person with their own thoughts make their own choices. Now, at the younger ages, I can see some more of these things coming into play. Like Jeff said, someone had asked him, "Oh, do you pick out your own clothes?" Now, when I was a kid, some mornings, I was a bus rider, so we had to be up super early. There were mornings where my mom threw an outfit on the bed, and that's what I wore. And there were also mornings where my mother helped me get my shoes and braces on, so I wasn't late for the bus. Like, it was a thing that I learned to do on my own gradually, but it was also a thing where I leaned into my parents if we were running late and I needed help with something, And so you've got to be careful to, let them be independent when they need it, but also you don't want to shame them for asking for help either.
There's a give and take there, as we talked about. It's okay to ask for help. But some parents are not able to let the disability go because they can't see past it. They can't see their child succeeding because they see the disability before they see the child. And it's not that it's wrong. It's overwhelming to them. And
you have to give your child the freedom to ask for help too, though.
That's well said. Well said.
To decide, do I need help?
Yes.
Yes or no.
And that is an independence inside itself. That's why I'm so thankful for my mom.
Hi, Jill.
Because hey, Jill, how are you? Make our own choices. Even if we make mistakes, we can still learn from them and go from that. You can't send your child out in foam rubber, okay, afraid they're going to fall, because they can't walk with foam rubber on, okay? Eventually, now, Christina's a different story, but that is,
Yeah, I was going to say, I know DJ wants to put me in bubble wrap, but that's also not very practical either.
But here's the thing. This is a great comment, Jill. I have learned to be independent when I can. But also I know when I need help, and have learned that it's okay to ask when I need it. I'm going to read this statement again because this right here is a powerful statement. I have learned to be independent when I can. Let me break that down. Okay, there are things we can do on our own. Sometimes we get a case of the lazies. Sometimes we get a case of the I don't give a fuck, I don't want to do it. Okay, sometimes we want to be stubborn and say, I got this. Okay, but I also know when I need help, and have learned that it's okay to ask for it when I need it. That takes time, because when most for me, every time that I ask for help, I felt like that I was taking somebody else out of their comfort zone, out of their life and what they were doing to come help me. That made me feel like a burden and that I was doing something wrong. I had to learn that I'm not a burden. I'm DJ, and you can't do everything on your own. Nobody ever succeeds all the time.
Mm-hmm.
Anybody want?
Well, I have a story about today. I had to go get my fingerprints done for my job, and my dad went with me. I had my dad go with me because I didn't know where I was going. But he's like, "You're gonna drive. I'm gonna go with you." So we drove over there just fine. But on the way home, I was like, "I'm hungry. You're hungry. Like, I'll buy us lunch." But I ended up having him drive home because he was more comfortable eating while driving than I would be. So it's like, in that situation, yeah, I could have drove home, but it was like, I'm hungry. I'd rather eat now than wait till we get all the way home because it was going to be about 25, 30 minutes by the time we got home. I was like, well, I want to eat, and you're more comfortable eating while driving. You drive home. So we compromised. It wasn't that he had to, but in terms of what made the most sense for the situation, I was like, well, why don't you drive? Because I'm hungry. I can eat. You can eat while driving. It's better that way. So that's what we did.
You know, the fact that you
and it worked out.
The fact that you just mentioned that, let me go ahead and say this on this show live. We hit points on this show, and when Kyle hits a point, I try not to miss it because he's bashed a couple out of the park with things that he says. Eating while driving is dangerous, and a lot of people make mistakes and distractions while they drive. Okay? I know people can eat while they drive. I'm not saying you shouldn't do it. I'm saying it's dangerous to do because you're focusing on stuff in your face and not focusing on the road. And I think that was a smart decision, being that you're newer on the road.
Yeah.
You made the decision yourself.
I wouldn't have eaten while driving home. I would have waited till I got home, but I didn't want to. So I was like, I want to eat now. So he drove instead.
You know what I do if I'm somewhere and, like, you know, right now because of COVID, not every place is open, but I will literally go park the car in the parking lot.
There you go.
And then drive. I don't drive. I personally have never been comfortable with it, so I don't. Some people can. Fine. Not for me. Like,
do you understand? Do you understand what just happened? That right there. Christina's brain thinks is explosive. And the reason I say that, the decisions she makes, she looks at the situation. I'm not comfortable eating while driving. I'm going to stop my car, park it, eat some, and then drive. That's smart decision making on her part because she's saving herself and not hurting other people. There's so much to the decisions that we make as individuals that help us to be better than we are. Leaving 20 minutes early, okay? Dressing with cerebral palsy, sometimes that takes an hour. Sometimes it takes an hour and a half. Sometimes that shoe gets put on the wrong foot and you're like, damn it, now I got to do it all over again. It happens because it takes time. But Kyle said it. Christina said it. You have to adapt to what you know and don't know, and please don't let this confuse you and say, I can get through it. Because that's not confidence. That's stupidity. And stupidity will get you in more trouble by thinking you can do something it's not that you can't. It's that it's a bad idea all around. And I've learned, just to go back a little bit, when a parent speaks about, I learned to manage my money and my debt and how to budget and all of that. And so many ask me, how do you do it? And I'm going to do a show on that at some point. I don't know how I'm going to get that. But But the problem is, when my parents spoke, I was hard-headed, okay? And I wanted to do everything on my own and not listen, okay? I went into $15,000 in debt in 2 years. I did it. Me. It was my ass, okay? My credit was deeper than I can't say that on there. It was bad. Let's just put it that way. I had to learn, just because you have a credit card doesn't mean you can spend that money. That means you ain't got it. If you ain't got it, don't buy it. And I had to learn what my parents told me was true. You know, when your parents or your brother or your sister gives you advice on something they've been through, it doesn't mean that it's going to happen to you, but they're trying to prevent it from not. So some of that is good advice. Go ahead, Christine. I saw you.
Yeah, I mean, just like, yeah, we don't always want to hear things that our family has to say, but there are points where our family does have good advice, and whether we have a disability or not, we need to think things through and not be hard-headed, because we can get ourselves into trouble.
Mm.
You know, we know what we're capable of, and we have to make decisions based upon that.
And then when we get ourselves in trouble and we panic, who do we go to? Mom! Oh my God! What am I gonna do? I'm freaked out. I've been there. I right now have an 806 credit rating. I have less than $2,000 in anything that I'm including the car and all that, because I work at it. It takes a discipline to manage money. Now, the other part of that is discipline is involved in growth, as growth is involved in discipline. Parents that want to do everything for their disabled child are not helping them prepare for the future. And you took the words right out of my mouth. What happens when mom or dad passes? What happens when mom or dad passes away? You see how
gotta figure something out.
Then the kids don't have the skills. They don't have the skills because the parents have stepped in and they've done it for them the whole time. You've got to give them the skills to be their own individual and give them as much independence as possible.
Yes.
The time to learn the skills is while you have somebody to correct you and here's how you can do it better. Not when you're by yourself. I don't know what the hell I'm doing. Let me figure it out as I go and potentially hurt yourself.
Right.
You don't want to wait to start a plan to be independent. You want to start right now. Parents and children alike, listen to me. We are not guaranteed the time that we've got. It doesn't mean it's going to show up tomorrow. I think it's funny when non-disabled people has to learn how to adapt to something new. That's where we have the advantage because we've been doing it all our lives. You know, I like that because I think everybody in the world has some sort of problem. Nobody goes through life untouched with any kind of physical impairment or any kind of physical issue that they deal with. Some people don't have a mother or a father. Some people have a grandparent. Some people have a brother or a sister. Some people are in foster care all their lives and bounced around and treated like shit because they're an object instead of a person. And then they're in the world, and the world is too big for them to hold on to. And it scares them. And they need someone to point them in the right direction. But there's a difference in pointing, there it is, there it is, there it is, and taking control of their life. I will ask this group that we are together with more about what do you think I should do, not because I don't know what I want to do, but I value their opinions. If I struggle with something, I'll call Kyle. Kyle will call me. I'll call Christina. Christina will call me. Sometimes we just need to vent because things build up and there's no sounding board and it's and you're trying to get through that point.
Right, but again, that doesn't mean that we're not capable. You know, the fact that we are asking for support makes us human. It's not something that you should look at us and say, oh, well, they're not capable because they asked for. No. Everybody asks for help at some point. We've just got to be careful not to judge people with disabilities based on the supports that they may need.
We've got to be careful not to judge at all, because judgment is the number one killer in this world. And I guess, you know, in doing all of this, treat us as the way that we are. Words hurt. I don't care if you're disabled or you're not. I don't care if you got 6 legs, 19 arms, and 6 heads. You come up to me and treat me with respect, I'm going to give it back to you. You treat me like a turd, I'm going to punch you in the mouth. It's just the way I am. I believe that respect is never given. Respect is earned. The moment I met Kyle and Christina, I knew they had my respect. It did not take Kyle. And I'll be honest, Kyle got it first because I was mesmerized by how he did that. I was like, dude, this dude is quiet. But when he speaks, stuff comes out that everybody needs to hear. And then this when he found that, same thing with Christina. As we grew as family, as we grew, we saw the greatness in each other to be able to understand that there's nothing we can't accomplish. We've said on this show several times, Shayna is going to be president of the United States. I still believe that because she's a
because she could be. If that's what she chose to do, she could be 100%.
She's a powerful woman that has more going for her, living on her own, raising children. And let me just point out this real quick before we go one step further. To all the moms out there that are raising disabled children, you guys are fucking awesome. Let me just say. To all the single parents out there, the dads that are raising 3 kids, and the moms are being assholes, and y'all are having to work hard and show kids what life is about, thank you. Thank you to all the single parents that work every day, working 3 jobs to support 6 kids. I know it's hard. There are plenty of children that want to be with their father and their father doesn't want them. And there are some that are dying to be with their children. And because of the system, it screws them over. But it's the only system we have. And if you are man enough and woman enough to make a child, you damn sure better be man enough and woman enough to support it. Because the children of this millennium, of this era, are the future. You look and see 70 and 80-year-old women raising children. Come on now. They live their lives already. Stop dropping your kids off at your grandmama's doorstep and saying, raise my child. Do it your damn self. Treat us as we are. That also means take responsibility for what you do. We all need a little bit of help. Okay? Ain't nothing wrong with food stamps. Ain't nothing wrong with WIC. Ain't nothing wrong with calling a hotline to figure out what to do. But the point of the matter is, you've got to take responsibility for what you want.
And I want to say asking for help does not make you weak. It makes you smart, because that means you don't want to be where you currently are.
Oh, that's the one I was waiting on. Pow! Just asking for help doesn't make you weak. It makes you smart because it helps you realize where you are. Whew! That's all of it right there.
Mm-hmm.
You've got things that you carry, okay? And when it gets heavy, what do? I gotta get to the thing. You don't put the stuff down and then make it a little lighter. I got it. I don't need no. You about to fall over? No, I'm fine. I don't need no help. Would you stop struggling and let me help you?
That's me. That's me. Like literally at work. Like I'll be coming out of the office with some papers or something. You want me to help you, Christina? No, 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 no. I'm good. 3 steps later, I drop it all on the floor. Here, let me get you a bag, Christina. I'm like,
I was going to. I was going somewhere. We went to Food Line to get a couple things for. I made seafood burritos, and I was going to pick up some coleslaw at Food Line, and I stopped at the laundromat because I saw a young lady struggling with a basket. I said, "Would you like me to place that in the car for you?" And she stepped back and she looked at me like, "How in the fuck are you gonna place that in the car? You're disabled as hell." I smiled. Her husband got out of the car. Her husband said, "The man asked you a question." I was like, "Oh, shit. Here we go. Man done stood up." She goes, "I don't need any help." I said, "I didn't ask you if you needed help. I asked you, would you like me to put this in the car for you?" She stopped and she said, "Well, if you can, please do so." I picked that basket up, that shit in the car, and she looked at me like, "How did you do that?" I said, "I'm not going to ask you for help if I can't help you. I'm not going to ask if you need help if I can't help you." This comment.
There's also. Go ahead.
So much.
Thank you, Jeff.
Dude,
there's also a difference between needing and wanting help.
Yeah, I think that's the big one right there. People feel like you're doing something wrong. You're not doing nothing wrong by asking for help. Now Kim made a comment up here earlier, and I want to read this. That's why I hardly ask for help, because I get judged.
I'm sorry.
Let me say this. You are the judge, not the people around you.
Ooh.
You are the judge. Oh, did I just pop one?
Yeah, you did. But it made me want to say, I feel like we are, because this is from my personal experience. I would judge other people and think that they were judging me. And I think that's dangerous because you don't necessarily know that they are. But in my head, especially growing up not accepting disability, I would think they're judging me. I would put that I would put the judgment on them, like they were doing it when I had no idea if they really were.
They might be happy to help, but yeah, you're still going to sit here and be like, "Oh, well, they don't like me now. They think I'm a nobody now." You got to be careful with that because.
How many times have we said our own worst enemy is ourselves?
Yes.
I'd rather do shit on my own than ask for help, even though I may need help at the moment. Let me put it to you this way. You have said to me on the phone, through text, that I show you courage and I show you wisdom, and I give you the what is it? The what's the word she uses? I can't think. I'm able to help you get through it. I'm able to
give her the gumption.
No, there's a word that same thing with school, and I do it because you're helping me to see and to get through. When you think people are judging you, don't worry about what they do.
Mm-hmm.
Worry about what you need to get done. Because the only way you're going to not be judged is to take control of the situation and not allow yourself to be judged. Because Kyle said it. A lot of times, and I'm not saying this is always the case, a lot of the time, we put the judgment on ourselves as people with disabilities as what we see people are doing. But how many times do we ask them, what are you really thinking? Are you judging
Yeah,
me?
I think we sometimes assume it's dangerous when people assume what we can do, but I think the reverse is true, that sometimes as someone with a disability, I have assumed what somebody thought about me without actually asking them, without giving them the chance to show me what they really thought. I gave them that they just didn't like me.
But see, you can admit that. And that's the hardest part right there.
High school might be completely different had I been different then, but that wasn't me then. But I can see that now.
Mm-hmm. Hindsight 2020 on some of these things too.
Yeah, and some of this here, not meaning that when I ask for help, people are like, now you need help, you want help. It's because when you show your independence, there's a surprise there in the breakdown of it. But just because you ask for help doesn't mean you're still not showing your independence. It's because you ask for help and you do it in the right way that you are still showing your independence. Yeah, I get that. I get exactly where you're coming from. But don't not ask because of what you think other people are thinking. Ask because you need it, and just take it. And it's okay.
Well, and Ken, it's your situation. So whether or not they're judging you, you're solving your situation. And then you're moving on from these people. So would they do the same thing if they were in your shoes? Who knows? Probably, maybe not.
Right.
But, you're trying to solve what works for you. If that person wants to judge you for how you came up with a solution to an issue you are facing, who cares? Because it's not your life. It's not their life that they were, you helped you, okay, by asking for help. You're not worried about helping them.
Well said. Well said. Because
you're helping yourself.
The bottom line in this is we have to get things done. Okay. We already have a different way that we do things. We already have a different way that we show things. We even already have a way sometimes that we say things differently. But just because it's differently done doesn't mean it doesn't get done. And I think Kyle showed his wisdom there too. Sometimes it's not that you get it done, it's how. And it doesn't matter about those around you. It's, do you want to get it done? And if you're
not causing anybody harm, it doesn't,
Yep. Well, this hour went quick. And I love this episode because, again, I want to thank so many people for getting up here this week and commenting. The comments have been great.
This is so awesome. Yeah, this is probably one of our most commented shows. So thank you guys for all your interactions.
Thank you. Because you have
those.
Go ahead, DG.
Go ahead, Kyle. I'm sorry.
I was just going to say to everyone that's commented, you help drive the show in some ways. Like your comments inspire, ooh, that's a good point we need to touch on. So keep them coming. I mean,
for those of you who are up here, you do make the show. We do the show for you guys. Tell your friends about the Three Amigos like page, Talking Topics with the Three Amigos. Thank you for all of your help and support. Please keep the comments and suggestions coming. We enjoy doing this every Monday. These guys are my rock. I love these guys to death. We're very excited about this Saturday. Just to do a quick plug, we're going to have a group show with our group. I believe this Saturday at 4 p.m.
Yes,
and it's gonna be awesome. So we are very.
It's the first anniversary of the CP Chronicles. We've been going for a year, Kyle and I, and so that's what Saturday celebration is going to be about. So if you're looking for that show, I will, once we get going live, share it to the Three Amigos page, so you can catch it there, or you can of course catch us on the CP Chronicles, and that's going to be a good one with a lot of our not to play favorites, but honestly, with a lot of our favorite awesome people that we've connected with over this year of the CP Chronicles. So
yeah. I just
Can't
if
wait.
you guys have any suggestions that you'd like to hear us talk about, or topics that you'd like to hear us talk about, or if you want to be a guest on the Three Amigos, we are looking at having guests. Please email us or send us a message on the Three Amigos page. We are very message responsive. I can tell you with the CP Chronicles, Kyle and Christina are very responsive to messages. So please make sure that you let us know what you want to talk about and what you want to hear about. We love you guys so much. We thank you for supporting us and helping us in the ways that you have. We will be available next Monday for talking topics with the Three Amigos, and these guys are great. Any closing
You're
thoughts?
great too, DJ.
Thank you.
Don't
Any
sell
closing
yourself short.
that you guys have?
Closing thoughts. I mean, just to reiterate our topic, treat people with disabilities as they are. Treat us like people. And if you're not sure about what we're able to do, ask us before you assume. Okay, that'll get us you a lot further with us if you just ask instead of assuming. And that's really all I've got to say. I mean, this was a great show, and
yeah,
Kyle
disability is
hitting it home.
yeah.
So.
Disability is not scary. I mean, it may seem that way from the outside looking in, but we are people who are just trying to live our lives the best way we can, how we can. It may be different from the way you live yours, but we're all chasing the dream, right? So don't be afraid. Just talk to us. That's all. Just treat us like people with feelings and respect us above all else. If you respect me, I will respect you.
Just the only final thought I have is to the parents and children of the world. Listen to each other. Talk to each other. Sometimes it takes compromise to solve a problem. Okay? Life is not a one-way street. Life is always up and down, full of twists and turns, and it doesn't get solved just by one way. Sometimes you have to really dig into the issue. Sometimes you've got to get through the crap and get cleaned up to see where you're really at. Talk to your children. Ask what they want. And children, respect your parents. It's not always I. It's not always me. Respect your parents. They work hard. Sometimes you don't need $300 shoes. Okay? Sometimes write your mom or dad a card and tell them how much you love them, not because it's their birthday or an anniversary, because it's a Wednesday or a Tuesday. Sometimes send flowers. Sometimes go and give your mom and dad a hug and tell them you love them, because you know what? When you wake up tomorrow, they may not be there. And you will regret the rest of your life knowing that you could have told them you love them one last time, but you didn't do it. Take control of your life and let them know that they mean something to you. And parents, your child is growing. Your child is learning. And eventually your child is not going to be a child anymore. So understand, it's okay for them to grow, and it's okay for you to let them grow into what they want to be, not what you want them to be. Guys, take care. Stay true to yourselves, and please remember to stay true to each other. We'll see you next Monday for Talking Topics with the Three Amigos.
Thanks, everyone. See you next week.